Good morning from beautiful Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri, US of A. This is David again, and guess what? We're going to start showing videos of us building an aquaponics greenhouse and some other stuff which we'll talk about here in a minute. And for those of you who've been, I don't know, have such a low style of life that you've seen all my other videos, then you know this, that first of all, let's go back. 2 years ago, we in fact built an aquaponics greenhouse. We had fish, we had plants, we had a greenhouse, everything worked, it was awesome, it was wonderful. However, it wasn't perfect. And so last year, I learned from my mistakes the year before, and I decided where I was gonna rearrange stuff, and we were gonna redo this wonderful, easy to do, simple project. And I made 5 videos last year, and on each one of those I said, here is what we are going to do. Mr. Cameraman, Dwayne Arney, out of those 5 videos, how much work did we actually do?
Zero.
We got nothing done except 5 videos that were fairly entertaining. Well, this year, we're not going to be video makers. We are going to be aquaponic makers. Last year, to be serious for a second, last year my father passed. The brains of the operation, Jan Van Eekert, was in a flux between moving and changing jobs and stuff, and weather kind of got in our way as well, just like it has this spring. So it wasn't that we just got lazy or lax. I mean, I did, but the other guys didn't. It was just a confluence of bad things happening. So this year, confidence is high. And in fact, I put pressure on myself. I have a timeline. If I don't get it done this month, and here it is, the middle of May, then I'm gonna pack it up, take it out of here, and give it to Jan Van Eekert. So, having said all that, I'm not pulling your leg. We're really going to try and build an aquaponics greenhouse. So, let's talk about what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to take a look at, and again, you'll see all the great, wonderful mess I have in there, is the water. The water is, of course, pretty vital to any growing operation, plus we're going to have fish. Now, this year, we're going to do things a little bit different. So, let's go ahead and take a look inside the fish hut. That's a good name for it, isn't it? Fish hut. Okay, so we're in a fish hut, and if you guys remember, here's the deal. You can see we got this container with water, and over here we got another container that we're actually going to put a door in our greenhouse. This container here has not been prepared or anything, but we are going to use it. Explain it here in a minute. So we're going to have water in there, we're going to have fish in there, we're going to have a pump in there. And what is going to happen is those fish, as fish tend to do, are going to eat and then they're going to poop. And that poop is going to make that water really nutrient laden. And so the pump is going to pull it up to here. The water will go in there where the heavier particles, which when you talk about fish poop, heavy is different than what you might think of. But nevertheless, the heavier particles will go down to the bottom and then the rest of the water will go out. If you see that green big tube out there, that in fact is not a water tube, but that's going to be the conduit that the tube is going to go through. So the water is going to come up from here, up to there, get filtered just a very little bit, and then it's going to go out, and it's going to be gravity fed. Now, we'll show you what the water does out there in a second. Now, what we're going to do different this year as well is that second container we talked to you about, we're going to put it over here. And we'll put fish in it as well, and it's going to have a pump. But here's where it's going to be a little bit different. This water is going to go out, and it's going to go down there, it's going to be gravity fed once again. But it's going to be for the raised beds and the different projects we're going to be doing out there, a couple fruit trees in our berry patch and all that. So it's one of those kind of deals where the water will not be returning. So whereas this water is going to go through, cycle through, come back clean, and go right back into this tank for that process to start again, this is not. We're going to have above ground, or not above ground, just regular ground dirt farming. I don't know what that word, what am I trying to say going? We're going to be growing stuff in dirt out there. And so there is no way to return that water. So the water is going to go out. And what we have to do is keep adding the water that goes out, we have to replace. In here, we may use a gallon every couple of days through evaporation and leakage or whatever, but just a very small amount. It keeps cycling and it stays constant. This one over here, for every gallon that goes out, we're going to need to replace that with a gallon and watch the chlorine levels and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be a little bit of a learning process this year, but ultimately what we're going to have then is a greenhouse over on this side, and we're going to have berries and maybe 6 raised beds down here and some fruit trees. They're both going to have the same kind of nutrients going to them. It's just a different environment. One will be in a greenhouse, one will be out there in God's own country. So we'll see how we go. So that is the plan, and this is where it pretty much starts. It's kind of the easy part once it gets going there, except again, it's going to be a learning process with the fish here. So let's go take a look at the greenhouse, what we'll be doing out there.